Welcome to Mortgage on My Mind, where we take the mystery out of mortgages and make dreams of home ownership a reality. I'm Natalie Salins, a top 1% mortgage broker with 20 years of experience, based right here in sunny Los Angeles. If you've ever wondered about pre-approvals, appraisals, or what loan product is right for you, don't worry, I've got Mortgage on My Mind, so you don't have to. Each week, I'll bring you expert advice, real-life stories, and insider tips to help you navigate California's competitive real estate market with confidence. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or just curious about how it all works, this podcast is for you. So let's talk mortgages, demystify the process, and make your real estate goals a reality. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. Hey everybody, welcome to Mortgage on My Mind. Today our guest is Tyler Davidson. He is the broker and owner of Tenfold Real Estate, a boutique brokerage that's based in San Marcos, California. He is a second-generation broker with years of industry experience. He specializes in residential sales, investment properties, and strategic home preparation. Tyler is also a multiple-time recipient of the San Diego Magazine 5-Star Agent Award. Congrats, it's awesome. Recognizing his consistent performance and client service in the North San Diego County real estate market. So welcome, Tyler. Thank you for being on with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It makes me sound super professional when you put it out that way. So I appreciate that.
Doesn't it? Yes, it's great to have you on, to have such a professional who varies in different things that they specialize in. I wanted to jump in and talk about this like pre-sale renovation idea and property preparation and
Yeah.
why is that so important and what does that mean exactly for somebody?
So I have learned over the years that the first thing that when we start talking about this is most sellers will say, we don't want to change the flooring because we're going to let the buyer choose that. The buyer has no idea what the flooring costs. And if it's going to cost $10,000 to do it, they're going to round up and they're going to think it's $25,000. And they're also going to say, we have to do it. So we're going to put our time into that as well. So therefore the price just went down $50,000. Everything is rounded numbers and they never round down. Let's put it that way. So we've done everything from small couple $100 jobs where it's okay, the carpet in this one room needs to be replaced. Let's do that. Let's paint this one wall. Let's paint this one room. Couple $100 and we're in and out. To all the way up to $100,000+ renovations where we're removing walls, we're opening up kitchens, we're doing windows, we're doing bathrooms, replacing roofs, whatever we need to do that we can see, okay, there is actually a return on your investment here. Let's get it done. And we don't charge any extra for that. We've just noticed over the years that by doing these kinds of jobs, the referrals that come back from it are far superior than anything we can do in terms of lead generation. So we'd rather give our clients the time and energy to do that work up front. And honestly, yeah, I love doing it, and it saves me from having to redo my house a third time. Scratches that itch and lets me renovate somebody else's house so I don't have to do my own, and my wife stays happy that way as well. We love doing that kind of work, and it pays off in the long run.
What would you say gives you like the most bang for your buck when it comes to that?
Most bang for your buck is honestly just decluttering. It's simplifying your home. It's neutralizing things. If you've got multicolored walls, if you got kitchen tile that's out of date, it's toning those down, going with whatever is in style right now, which right now is it's a light gray, beige, it's the whites, it's the tans, it's all very neutral colors. So we always try to stay on top of the curve, not getting too far ahead of it, but also not being too far behind the curve as well. And just finding that sweet spot where we're choosing products that are cheap, they're affordable, that you can get them in and out done quickly, maximizes our return on investment there. And that's where we've noticed is just depersonalizing your home so that it lends itself to the most amount of buyers out there.
Yeah. I remember when every home I would walk into that was flipped was like gray floors. Do you remember that time?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
before
yeah.
COVID,
Yeah.
everyone had gray wood floors. Every single
Yeah.
flip I'd walk into, I was like, I'm gonna die if I see another flipped home with gray hardwood floors.
Yeah.
But it definitely, there are like such fads. You can see when people have redone their property based on things like that.
The other thing
So,
we've noticed is when we
yeah.
do those pre-sale renovations is we get ahead of the curve as well in terms of there's always the request for repair that comes through. So when we do a lot of that work ahead of times, we're able to uncover a lot of those oh moments ahead of time, and we can take care of them before we actually list it on the market. And then once the buyers are actually in escrow, instead of having a list of 25 items that come up on the inspection report, it's 5 to 10. And all of a sudden at that point, they're like 5 to 10, we can deal with that. We're fine with this. But when it's 25 to 30, then all of a sudden they're like, ooh, we're buying a lemon here. And they start either backing out and you got multiple escrows, or they just start coming back and saying, we got to heavily discount the price here because we didn't know we were going to uncover all these things. So we can
Well,
get
isn't
ahead of
that what's
those as
so
well.
interesting? Like, whenever big things come up through an inspection report, general or specific, I'm
Mhm.
always shocked that the seller before listing didn't do it. I'm always like, don't you want to know what you are about to be faced with? Don't you want to know what the buyer is going to find
Yeah.
so that you can get on top of it beforehand? It like literally doesn't make sense to me to put yourself
Hmm.
in the position of not knowing, because
Hmm.
then you're going to have to do a request for repair no matter what. Whereas if
Hmm.
you get an inspection beforehand and the buyers at that point are readily wanting the house and willing to
Yeah.
sign whatever they need to get it, show them those upfront inspections. This is what is up with this house.
Yeah.
You have to legitimately buy as is because you've had the inspections beforehand. We aren't going to look at a request for repairs. Here they are.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And on
Don't
top of
come to
that,
us because here they are. Don't come to us after and tell us you want 40 grand off
yeah.
because here's an inspection. It just seems to make the most sense, but so few people do it.
Yeah,
Like
and some
10%.
states will actually require that to be done ahead of time, where the seller is the one paying for the inspection. California is just not one of those states. But
Mhm.
I've also found that when we do that work ahead of time, and whether it's through an actual inspection or most sellers know everything that's wrong in their home, they just don't want to address it. But if you talk to them ahead of time of like, hey, I know you know that your garage door doesn't open, or your roof is 40 years old, or X, Y, and Z. If we know about that ahead of time, and as you said, if we can take care of that now before we list it, we're not under the gun of we've got to get this done in 30 days. Let's call every contractor we know, and whoever can do it the fastest is going to get the job, regardless of price. If and you've got 2, 3 months ahead of time of, okay, let's slowly get that honeydew list that we've put off for 10 years. If we can get all that done
Right.
now, then they're hiring the handyman around the corner versus the $85 an hour contractor. They're hiring the best contractor to do the roof versus the only one who can get there on a Saturday because we're closing on Monday. So all of that stuff we can get done ahead of time is going to end up saving you time. It's going to save you money. And most importantly, it's going to save you stress because that's the last thing you want to have
100%.
happen is while you're in escrow, maybe even buying another place after this, then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, we got to get this done or my entire life falls apart. That's really what it comes down to. Because during that
Right.
home sale process, that is your entire life. Everything is centered around that. So most you can get done
Yeah.
there better.
Exactly. Exactly. And obviously, decluttering is something that means a lot, of course, because everybody likes clean surfaces. But what would you say if you are going to spend money on something? Is it paint? Is it like fixing up the backyard? If you've got only 30 grand to fix up a house, what would you say are the key things that you see?
Mhm. For me, the things that I see, and it depends, everything is case by case. If you're selling a home in an elderly community and you've got a big walk-in tub, that's probably not going to be the best thing in the world. Let's take the time and energy to spend that on the bathroom. But in
Really?
general, yeah, I mean, if it's like a step-down tub and it could be a trip hazard or something like that, we've seen homes like that in the past where it's okay, let's turn this into a walk-in shower. Let's
Interesting.
spend the money
Okay.
there to make it so that somebody doesn't have to go through that process because 90% of the people who are going to buy this are going to need to do this. But in general, the best use of funds is going to be flooring and paint. Choosing something, as I said, it's more neutral. Right now, it's more of the oaky, very warm colored floors. Curb appeal is obviously very important. Putting some bright, colorful flowers in front of your front door, making sure that the landscaping is all nicely taken care of, everything that you can do to just seamlessly get somebody into the front door. And speaking of front door, it's amazing how many times switching out the lock on your front door can make or break a deal. Because I don't know how many times as an agent you've walked into a property and you're taking the key and you can't get the door open, and your buyer is sitting there for 30 seconds while you're stumbling with a key for the front door. versus the homes where the key goes in, slides nicely, and you're in. It's just little things like that where every barrier of entry that you're putting in front of somebody is a reason for them to walk away. And the less that you can keep in front
Funny.
of them that way, it makes it so much easier for them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
little things like that, just it's a lot of times go a long way.
Funny. What mistakes would you say sellers often do before listing? What are standard preparation mistakes or waste of
Not
money?
listening to the agent when they say, "Oh no, we're just going to give a credit for flooring," or "Oh no, it's fine. I'll keep all my family photos. Everybody's going to love my grandkids." Little things like that where it's, "I'm not here to insult you, but I'm here to tell you the truth." And all of these things have got to go. The green shag carpet in your bedroom maybe looked good 30 years ago, but it's not looking great now, and we've got to get this changed out. So rather than say, "Oh, we'll give a credit for 5,000," which a buyer just thinks that's a drop in the bucket. Let's go ahead and just spend 2,000 and get it done. So little things like that where you can get those done ahead of times. That's where a lot of sellers make the mistake is they don't do that upfront property preparation. And then it gets onto the market and then they're backtracking. Then they're doing price drops. Then they're wondering why they're not getting the showings that they want. The information is out there now where as soon as a property hits the MLS, it's on every site possible within 30 minutes for the most part. So if you don't make that first impression, people are gone and they're not coming back. So
Yeah, totally. Okay. Besides the preparation, tell us a little bit about what you and your company does with this Tenfold initiative, your like charitable contributions.
yeah, so the Tenfold Impact Initiative, we started a little bit over a year ago now. And the nuts and bolts of it is 10% of our commission goes to a charity of the buyer or seller's choice. So every sale we do, we're going to sit down with that buyer or seller ahead of time and say, here's what we do. It's no cost to you. It's no penalty to you or whatever. And we actually will basically our name. It's obviously coming from our company, but we give kudos to that buyer or seller when we're giving
Mm,
it to one of the charities. It makes them feel good about it, where if they ever showed up to there, then, "Oh yeah, we know you. You were the one who gave us a check for a couple $1,000s." And the only stipulation that I put on it is it has to be hyper local. We don't want to, not that any of these charities or organizations do anything wrong, but it's, if we're giving it to the American Cancer Society, it's just, it feels like a drop in the bucket versus if it's a local charity, like we work with the Boys and Girls Club of San Marcos, but staying within your community. And then that money just festers within the community and continues to do more and more good within our area. So that's the only stipulation we put on there. And we've got a couple we'd like to work with that we make recommendations to. But if one of those clients has something that's near and dear to our heart, then obviously we're going to listen to that. Yeah.
yeah, cool. It's beautiful. Movement
Yeah.
does so much of the same thing with that. So like we're an impact lender and give something, no joke, like 40 to 50% of net proceeds to charitable
Wow.
organizations. We've built schools and we have 3 schools in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
We fund different schools all over the world. Like it's a beautiful company, honestly, quite incredible. Our mission
Yeah.
statement and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, my, I think my impact last year from the loans that I funded was 13 teachers' salaries in one of
Wow.
our schools. Yeah. So we get to
Wow.
see
That's
like
amazing.
in hand how we are affecting the
Yeah.
community and what
Yeah.
doing loans here, the impact that they have. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a cool place. Yeah.
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 On
Yeah.
top of the money we give back, we try to get involved with these charities as well. One of the ones is Rancho Coastal Humane Society. It's shelters here, and they're a phenomenal organization. So my wife and I, we've actually been fostering kittens for them for the last 6 months.
Come on.
So on top of
That's
giving
pure
money to them, we actually
selfishness.
get there is definitely a selfish aspect to it. We're not doing it completely selfishly, but it's been a great time to give back and help pets as well. They're very near and dear to our heart. Right
Oh,
now, we've got a little
Kevin.
5-week-old kitten that's running around our living room.
Oh,
It's fun time. Yeah.
oh my God.
Ends up hopping up on here, then just ignoring him. He'll
Please.
be,
I would die. Mine
yeah,
was just here a second ago. I don't know where he went, but
yeah.
are you going to keep?
So far, we have not foster failed. It's been close a few times, but we're sticking to our guns of let's do this long term. We do have an elderly cat, and my whole stipulation was if my elderly cat has said, hey, this one's staying, and we'll know when he does, then that one's going to stay with us. But for the most part, he's been like, yeah, there's another kitten running around. I'm going to stay on my cat tree for the next couple of days.
Got it. I love that.
It's been fun. Yeah.
That's a good baseline of if my current cat, which of course is priority, likes them and feels connected to anyone in particular.
Yeah. If he's going to choose them, then he stayed. So.
Yeah. Then that's the stay. That's a great, yeah. I didn't do that with mine. I just got a new
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah.
I did. No, because I really like having two. So when one passed, I just got a new one, and she loves him, but she could take or leave him, honestly. But even still, they're always on the bed together, always on the couch together, or always they like go from room to room together. So it's, even though they are not siblings in any way, and she's 10 years older than him, really, you still know
they're
that
bonded.
they know they have each other. We really fell off track here. Yeah.
That's okay.
Anyways, it was so lovely chatting with you. Thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us and our listeners. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. And keep in touch. And everybody, you can find all of Tyler's information in the below, and all the social and all of that kind of stuff. And we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to Mortgage on My Mind. If you're ready to start your mortgage journey or have any questions, I'd love to help. With 20 years of experience, I make the process as simple and stress-free as possible. Check the show notes for my contact info, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast. Until next time, I'm Natalie Salins, here to help make your real estate dreams a reality.